Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first installment of our four-part series in which we take a look a little closer at the stigma surrounding sexual assault here at the University of Northern Iowa. My name is Shannon Cross, and I am joined today by a survivor who is willing to talk with us and share her story. She will remain anonymous for our podcast today, but we are so happy for her willingness to take us through her journey. Hi, do you want to give us a little background about yourself?
Hi, I'm a junior at UNI, and I am a pre-nursing major.
How long have you been here at UNI?
This is my third year at
Third
UNI.
year. Awesome. And do you live on campus or off campus currently?
I live off campus.
Awesome. Okay. So if you're comfortable at all, we would be very interested and would love to hear your story to learn a little more.
Okay, well, I was hanging out with some of my friends one night this past summer, and it was my two friends that I was hanging out with and some of their friends, and we were hanging out at my guy friend's apartment, and we were making food and just kind of hanging out, and they all decided to play a drinking game, and I hadn't really played any of those before, so I didn't really know what was happening. But they just started making drinks and started playing this game where you could make people take drinks for like certain requirements, like their favorite color or when they went to the ocean last or something. And so my friend, my guy friend, that I was at his house, he kept giving me drinks, like making me take like 6 drinks at a time or something like that, and it was like more often than I should have had to do it, and I ended up getting really drunk really fast, and I didn't really like know my limits or anything, so I got really drunk to like the point where I couldn't really like talk or anything, and we kind of played this game for like a couple hours, and I just kept getting more wasted. And at this point, my girlfriend that I came with, she was going home. And I had planned on going home with her, but I couldn't really make a decision. And we just kind of thought it would be best if I slept at our guy friend's house that I had known for like 3 years. And so she left, and then we kind of just hung out by ourselves, me and a couple of the guys at the house. And slowly everybody kind of went to bed eventually. And it was just me and my guy friend that I knew. And as it got later and later, he started to like feel me up, and I couldn't really like do anything about it. I didn't really know, like my body wasn't really answering in appropriate ways.
Mm-hmm.
I could barely stay awake, and I actually kept like falling to sleep because it was so late and I was so drunk. And eventually he had like done that for a while, and then I thought he was like taking me to bed. He like was taking me to his room, so I thought he was gonna give me his room, but he ended up coming in the room with me, and I also just like couldn't really understand what was going on at the time, but he came in and like closed the door and ended up taking off my clothes, and then like got into bed with me, and we were in bed for like an hour, and he like raped me that whole time. And I didn't really have any control. I knew what was happening, but I couldn't really like respond to it in like a forceful way, but I like cried a lot, and I like tried to get away from him a couple times, but I was just so weak. And I kept falling asleep, which made him really mad. And he made like joking comments towards me a couple times while I was crying, which didn't really like affirm that it was consented at all. I didn't consent him at all. But after about an hour, he decided to go to sleep out on the couch because I just couldn't stay awake enough, but he like ended himself by going like on me, just like all over me, and then he like went to bed. And around like 2 a.m. I tried to go to the bathroom and I couldn't really do that because I was in a lot of pain. But I managed to like sit on the toilet for a while. And then I tried to call my boyfriend. I texted him a couple times, but he just didn't wake up because it was like 3 a.m. But then I just kind of fell asleep. I was so drunk. And I woke up the next morning feeling very anxious, and also just kind of like I got hit by a bus and just like really sore. And I walked out of his bedroom knowing fully that he had raped me. And I kind of just didn't feel like I was really alive at that point. And I could see that he was on his phone because I was behind him. And I walked past him and got my backpack and my shoes on, and I looked back and he was pretending to sleep. So I just like walked out as fast as I could, and I went home and like cleaned up for a little bit, just like washed my face and brushed my teeth and tried to like assess what had just happened. But I ended up going and seeing my boyfriend, and then it kind of just like took off from there, I guess.
Sure. So, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was kind of intense. But what legal actions did you end up taking, or what were the steps that you took after that horrible thing happened to you? And did you have like knowledge of resources that were available to you, and how did you have that knowledge that you had hoped you'd never need but then ended up needing?
My boyfriend took me to Allen Hospital, where I was like treated really well. They like took care of me completely. The police came in to the room and like did a sexual assault like investigation with me, and so I got interviewed by some cops, and then they did like a criminal like lab test on me to like check and like get all like swabs done for his like DNA on me. So I ended up like going to the cops, and then they started an investigation in when it happened. I didn't really know about much that you and I offered before this happened, because I didn't really need it, but like 20 minutes after I got to the hospital, this girl who I call my advocate, she came from like right next to the hospital. It's like an advocate center.
Okay.
Where like she basically steps in for me and talks to the university for me and gets me whatever I need, and also like talks to the cops so I can get updates and stuff. And just kind of is the person that handles all of it, so I don't have to handle it. And she works at UNI, and so I can like go and talk to her whenever I need to. So she took care of being there with me when I went to the cops, and when I had to go to court to get a no contact order, and she will check in with the cops to see when my labs are coming back, and I can also just like go and talk to her in her office. So UNI offers that all together, and I also through her can get like a day off of school if I need to for like court, or if I'm just like not able to get up in the morning, I can call her, and she will have the dean of students like vouch for me for my classes, so I don't have to like miss school or like miss a test or something. So yeah, that's basically all I know that UNI offers.
So let's go back a little bit to the no contact order, if that's okay with you, and how your assaulter was also a student on campus, and kind of how going to class and going through that process has affected you just as a student, and how that kind of makes you feel on campus, like just being a part of the university and still having him also be a part of this same university.
Well, he's a year older than me, so he's like still in school. I was really not okay with going to school when like school started up in the fall, just because I had seen him before. We were like friends, so I saw him on campus, and I just was not sure how that was gonna play out. I hadn't seen him yet. I have seen him now, but like I was really anxious about seeing him again. So before I got the no contact order, I probably wouldn't have been able to do anything if I had seen him, even though I would have like been freaking out. So that was just like really hard to like be able to wake up and not have to worry about that. I constantly like worry about it. I like know where he lives, and it's like 2 blocks from campus and really close to where I work. So I was just like always worried about it. But now I have a no contact order that I got from a civil court hearing, so that he can't come close to me if I'm in a building, but I still don't have like complete safety, because like if we're in the same class, I can't ask him to just like not take the class or anything, because he's like not seen as guilty yet, because there hasn't been a criminal case yet. So it's just like still really hard to be on campus and not have like that fear that I'm gonna be hurt, because that's always gonna be there. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that I can't imagine that. Has the university, or have you, besides your advocate, who seems to be a really great resource, have you had to talk to the university really at all, or does she handle that for you, or have they offered you any kind of support or any extra feelings of safety so that you don't have to walk around in a constant state of anxiety, only worrying about seeing him, or then not only seeing him but like having injury inflicted on you, or emotional, physical, anything like that?
Not really that I can think of. I have had to like talk to a professor about it, just because it was me missing class sometimes was affecting like my attendance at class. But that was also by choice. I didn't have to tell her, but it just like made it easier. But it kind of sucked that I had to tell her. But no, I don't think I'm aware of any resources from you and I that would be helpful other than my advocate.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us? So this week is actually the Sexual Assault Awareness Week, and we were kind of curious about your feelings towards that and the events around campus and how you feel. If you can be, do you feel like that is something that represents you at all, or makes you feel better in any way, anything like that, or how this week and this attention kind of affects you on campus?
Yeah. The first time I saw it, it was like the first day that they had it up. It was in the Union.
A poster?
Yeah, a big like sign that said Sexual Assault Awareness Week. And it kind of just hit me like a bus. It wasn't something that I wanted to see at all. Like, even if it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, like, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
Not to be rude.
No, that's okay.
It's not like Pride Week or Black History Month or Mother's Day or my birthday. It's not something I want to celebrate or be reminded of. It actually kind of ruined my whole day, because not only am I having to think about it, but other people are thinking about it too. And I think that might just be partly a personal thing, but I know that most people don't want to be reminded of a traumatic experience that they went through.
For sure.
I definitely get the point of it. There needs to be more like awareness, but I don't think we should go through it by like having a week of it. Like, one little tidbit I think is enough, but like spreading awareness in a more impactful way, like having things that people can go to, like the panel. That would be really great for kids to go to like a panel and hear questions and stuff, or like actual action being done to like prevent these things from happening. But like just throwing a week up for it, it's like not doing anything.
Sure. And
I never even like got an email or anything about like anything that was being done during a sexual assault week.
Yeah.
There was just the poster, and I saw it like on multiple places on campus. So it wasn't really helpful or anything. And it just kind of like ruined my day.
So, from what I'm kind of gathering, there doesn't seem to be a lot of focus on prevention, or you personally didn't even have the awareness of the resources until something had happened. And so maybe, like you said, instead of having it seem like something that is like a celebration week, which it absolutely isn't, having more of the focus on education.
Yeah, I would say that universities don't want to deal with sexual assault because it gives them a bad rap, and
Absolutely.
It also is just like not something anybody wants to talk about. I don't think we want to think that it actually happens, but like makes it harder for like the people that are actually dealing with it, because it actually does happen. And it's like crazy how quiet it is that like no one still knows who he is, and like he's still on campus, and like he's a rapist. Like even if it isn't like proven by a judge, like he still raped me, and like my voice is valid, and it shouldn't have to be like proven to like have him, like if he raped me, he raped me. Just like if you stole something from a business and they saw you do it, you stole something from a business, and like that's the truth. And so like it's crazy to me that a university can know and like not do anything about it. Like I don't know what they can do, but just that there's not awareness and there's not anything going into effect to like try to stop it. So
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today, and for kind of diving into a little bit of the university culture that is surrounding sexual assault and sexual misconduct. All right, I think that's all that we are going to cover today. Again, thank you so much. Signing off with you, my name is Shannon Cross, and make sure you check in for our next 3 installments, where we will speak with other people who have all sorts of information on sexual assault, prevention, education, and awareness.